everybody. I am Rhea Guntalilib. I am visually impaired. I am totally blind. And in this presentation, I would like to discuss why web accessibility is so important to people with disabilities like me. But before I actually jump into what web accessibility is, first let us try
Slide
to
2. What?
look at, let's try to look at the things that we can now do online. Okay, first, acquire knowledge or to simply learn something new. There are a lot of collections of articles and videos that we could read and watch online, and through those articles, through those videos, it's very easy for us to discover something new. It's very easy for us to learn whatever it is that we want to learn or whatever it is that we want to figure out. Another thing, online schools are already available. Usually, a lot of schools, colleges, and universities today are already offering online classes, online courses to their students. Third is, let's try to look at how people book their vacations, how people plan their vacations. What they normally do is they look for a perfect travel package online, and then from the transportation to hotel reservations, all the bookings, all the reservations, it's just a click away because of the presence of the internet. Another thing, social media. I think I don't know anyone today, or no, it's not fair to say that. I mean, majority of the people that I know today have their own social media accounts. They have their Facebook account, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, because they use it for entertainment purposes. And well, not just to entertain themselves, but to exchange information as well. Another thing, the booming presence or the availability of online shops, from the basic necessities like food, clothing, up to appliances and gadgets. Everything can now be purchased online. Next is online banking systems. Most banks nowadays already have their online banking systems wherein, if you have an account, you can create an online account, then you can do banking online. Next is employment opportunities or online jobs. Most people today already prefer to work from home. Actually, both employers and employees prefer this kind of setup. Well, who wouldn't want to work at the comforts of their own homes, right? And the stock market, because the internet is already easily accessible, the internet is already easily available, a lot of people are already getting educated or learning how to play and to invest in the stock market. These are just very few of the things or the most common things that you could do if you have the means, plus you have a desktop or laptop computer, you have a smartphone, then you have an internet connection, you're good to go. Actually, the possibilities that you can do are limitless.
Slide 3.
However, if you are someone with disability like me, if you have a special need, or you're using an assistive tool in navigating the web, the accessibility or the availability of those services that I have just mentioned, it's not 100% guaranteed that we can enjoy all those services. Why? Well, because there are barriers such as buttons that can't be accessed, um, online application forms that cannot be filled up, what else? Images that are not labeled, or we encounter websites that are hard to comprehend since the headings and subheadings are not properly tagged, etc., etc., etc. Those are just few of the most common barriers that we are encountering. Well, probably for you it sounds insignificant, but for someone like me who is using an assistive tool, it makes a lot of difference. Okay, there are barriers definitely, but what's good is there is, of course, a way on how to eliminate those barriers. And the way to do that is
Slide 4. What?
through a concept called web accessibility. So now let's define what is web accessibility. When we say web accessibility, it's actually it means that people with disabilities or people with special needs could 100% access, could 100% use and navigate the web. It means that websites should be perceivable, operable, understandable. We could interact and contribute to the web. So how do you do that? I mean, for web developers, how are you going to design or develop your websites in such a way that it would be accessible? There
Slide
is
5.
this thing we call the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. And under this WCAG, there are actually four principles, which is perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. And under each principle are several different guidelines that would help you to, design your website, your web pages in such a way that you could achieve these four principles. Okay,
Slide 6.
so
Why is web accessibility?
let's go back to the main point of this presentation. Like I mentioned, my goal here is to actually discuss why web accessibility is so important to people with disabilities like me. First and foremost, it's in the law. That's one. It means that it says that people with disabilities have equal rights to accessible information. And when we say accessible information, the information or the contents that we can acquire online are also included. Another thing, I've mentioned about online jobs or work from home jobs a while ago, if you remember. So, if the online world becomes perfectly accessible for us, this could actually lessen or hopefully it could eliminate the problem of unemployment for people with disabilities since more job opportunities will open for us. Another thing, um, uh, of course, independence is something that we can achieve if, you know, the websites or the online world becomes perfectly accessible. Just imagine if we could manage our own money through online banking systems, or we could shop our own things through different online shops. Um, it is in a way fulfilling. It adds up to our confidence that those very simple things, such as those things that I have mentioned, we could already do them by ourselves, or we could already do them independently. And lastly, of course, as we all know, all those services or those things that I have mentioned a while ago that you can now do or we could now do online, all of them are actually associated with convenience and practicality. And for people who have disabilities, for persons like me who have special needs, of course convenience and practicality is very very important. So basically that's it. Just try to picture, even for a while, if all the things that someone without a disability could do in the internet, we could also do. I mean, people with disabilities like me could also access, or we could also do them.
Slide 7. Why am I doing this? Fifth
Okay,
question.
so At this point, you're probably wondering, okay, so I have mentioned about web accessibility. So you're probably wondering, so why am I doing this, or what's my main objective in showing you this presentation? Well, first and foremost, this is a personal advocacy for me. Through spreading the word about web accessibility, I feel like this is my own simple way of reaching out and helping out my fellow persons with disabilities. If in a way I could contribute in educating web developers out there in order to help them or guide them make their websites, the websites that they develop, accessible. So I won't just benefit from it, but I could also this is also a way for me to be of help to other people with disabilities like me. And second, um, I strongly believe that there is a potential employment opportunity here in the field of web accessibility. I want to spread the word because I believe that through web accessibility, I could gain possible employments, and hopefully eventually I could also be a channel for job opportunities to my fellow people with disabilities. So what are the careers or the employment opportunities that we could do in line with web accessibility? Well, we could conduct trainings, we could facilitate seminars about web accessibility, of course, about assistive tools. We could help you understand how people like us who are using assistive tools, or how do we navigate the web. Another thing, we could be your consultants. We could check the accessibility of your websites. We could provide inputs on how you could make your website accessible. And lastly, of course, since we are first-hand users of assistive tools, we could be your accessibility testers. And actually, there are a lot more. So basically, that's it. This is an advocacy, and at the same time, I'm hoping to open doors for employment opportunities. So
Slide 8. Contact the contact.
if this topic somehow caught your interest, if you want to know more about web accessibility, if you want to inquire, here are my contact details. You can send me an email, or you could add me up in Facebook. We could connect in Facebook and discuss whatever it is that you want whatever it is that you want to know or to learn more about web accessibility. So there
Slide
you
9.
go. I hope you learned something. Thank you, and God bless you.